There I am on the thing. Sorry if I sound angry, but I just went through an entire iteration of this, but I thought the camera was on when it turned out to be off, so now I have to say everything again for this review of the redonkulous race, New Beijinging. This was another one of the funnier episodes in the series so far, which I enjoyed, and the reasons behind that I will begin listing and going through as we continue with this review here. I love how they lampshaded the series' general lack of any nameless background characters in Don's Beijing intro. Home to 25 million people. Oddly enough, we'll see none of them. Carrie and Rock's little comedic misinterpretation over Devin and or the Peanuts wasn't too bad either. But does she really have to watch him sleep? Isn't that a little stalkery? Take a stinking chance already, Carrie. Opportunity is not a lengthy visitor. 'Tis better to have loved and lost than not to have loved at all. And so on. Dwayne's complaining about someone's bathroom issues, implying that it was Junior when it actually turned out to be him. That was really funny. I came this close to actually laughing at it. I'm not sure if it was just the toilet humor or the sudden ironic switch at the end, but that was good. And the way a surprisingly smart kitty tricked Emma into complimenting Noah, that's some well-written stuff too. This episode and the new one that just aired today we're focusing on the relationships of Rock and Spud, the rocker team. They've never really been all that great as far as I'm concerned. How have they even survived this long with only Rock doing all the work and Spud just acting like he isn't even there? And by he, I mean Spud himself, of course. How can you motivate someone like that? And don't tell me that balls of mush actually have an advantage because nothing faces them, because they don't. And Jacques being an asset to the team just as his head punches through a donkey's ass? Can't believe they got away with that one. At this point, it seems like the writers are just throwing Carrie a bone when they had Devin complaining about Shelley and complimenting Carrie in the same breath after they landed in the Chinese donut stadium. I liked it and all, plus that face she made was just awesome, but it felt like the writers are just trying to show her some pity. I'm not up with pity. I want support. I know they've already done the actual Chinese food is really gross thing before, but it was way back in Total Drama World Tour Chinese Fake Out. But taking that idea and turning it into a catching/prepping and eating challenge, that's a great way to use something they've already done but change it around and give it new life. Makes me wish they do that more with the actual show. And it looks like we have this season's Jeff and Bridget to Carrie and Devin's Trent and Gwen. I'm talking, of course, about Noah and Emma, who wound up entering into an alliance by the end of this episode. Although, knowing the standard total drama formula, one team or the other will either let themselves lose for the sake of the other team, or else let the game take over them and screw over their former alliance mates. I know Jose and Jacques survived this episode and tonight's new one in Finland, but heck, I've seen online and the commercials that they survived at least to New Zealand, but how that can be with their current performance, I have no idea. And it's how ironic that Spud's eating of the motivational sweets would be what actually gives him the impetus to actually do something this episode. Plus, it was pretty funny. I love Choco Oinks! But another non-elimination round? Get rid of some losers already! You're going to use up all your non-elimination rounds right off the bat when the story could wind up needing them later! That made me angrier than anything else in the whole blasted episode. Well, on the plus side, with any luck, Spud will actually start doing more to help Rock out in their hopefully few remaining episodes. I mean, Rockers. There's only so far you can really go with that shtick. And they're not even all that original looking. Well, not incredibly anyway. There's so many better teams left that could be focused on, like say the Goths or the Carrie and Devin relationship. That's right. The Carrie and Devin relationship that we all know is coming and that the internet hates. I'm actually putting that relationship over the Rockers because I dislike them that much. Heck. Dang it, I had something for this. Anyways, crud, I forgot to add. Seems to me that between her rough behavior and her drive and what have you, not to mention how much the relationship between her and Kitty seems like Heather and Lindsay from TDI. Seems to me like, personality-wise, they took some of the best parts of Courtney and Heather in order to create the character of Emma, which, even though both of those aren't exactly the best characters or the best traits, they work together and actually have a little streak of niceness in them, as we see in this episode and tonight's episode of the Finland I Love Redonkenroll. That's about all well, good thing I got that in because I had thought about that all day and I'd forgotten to write it down into this review until just now. That's why, by the way, that's why I decided to wait an entire day between episodes between episodes and reviews in order to give myself plenty of time to think about every possible angle and all that I can think of, and give you people the best review that I can give you. That's my duty as a man of the internet. Anyways, let's see here. 8 minutes, another long review. These have been going long lately. I'll get this off in just a sec and we'll have your next review up before you know it. One more second here.